Hey, what's up guys? Awesome back here. Another video. Don't know what I'm doing. I ain't got a hat on. We're just gonna grab one right here. No, not that one. Nothing's dirty. We're just gonna grab a little G Loomis hat here. But y'all been wondering where I've been working. That's about it. Working man for you. I've been pulling anywhere from 40 to 50 hours a week. But I have been able to make some newer purchases. I've sold some of my stuff. I've got new stuff. So we are gonna get into it. Talk about a little bit what I've been doing, why I done it, the stuff I got, why I got it, and stuff like that. Y'all seem to like these videos. It seems to help y'all out a lot on like your buying guide stuff. So we are gonna kick it off. My arsenal no longer has a Shimano Zodius in it, and that is strictly because the what I was going for with the Zodius I just didn't get. Um, what I had, it was a perfect jig rod in my opinion. It would have made anybody a good jig rod, but I did not need a jig rod. I have a 7'7" Dixie Custom Meat Stick over there, so I did not need another jig rod. But what I was wanting to use it for was a small swim bait. You know, I like throwing an eighth ounce. You know, I like throwing a quarter-ounce swim bait with a 3" or a 3.3 Kitech on it, and I realized when I set the hook as hard as I set the hook, I was, I guess, pulling it out of their mouth or like ripping their mouth or something. So I sold it. I no longer have a Corrado. I got rid of that. I kind of upgraded. I got all Tatula bait casters now. I'm very, very happy about it. But here's my first purchase. It's a Castaway Tyrannus. I've never owned one. I've owned a Castaway rod before. So hopefully this Castaway rod and Tatula reel don't end up in the bottom of Laurel Lake like my first one did. So this here is a 7 foot. I think it's medium heavy. Let's get the specs on it. No, it's a 7 foot medium, and it would be a great cranking rod. It has a great feel in the hand. I do like how they made it kind of bigger up here than it goes skinny, and it just feels great in the hand. Any way I grab it, it feels great. I do have a SV Tatula on here, so you're talking uh, 109 rod plus tax and $189 reel. So you're talking about a little over $300 for this combo. But hopefully I can get on some swim bait fish with it. So that's why I got that rod. Also to replace my Zodius too. So let's talk about my new purchase for today. I gave you a hint. I know I was going kind of fast, but I told you I own all Tatula reels. And if y'all watched my last video, y'all seen I had this. I do own this reel. It is a Bassmaster, but I'm not going to be using it. It's garbage. Like, that's why I had to replace it today. So, I did pick up another Tatula. This here is the standard 100 HS. I think I got 4 of these now. 4 of these and 2 SVs. I think that's what I got. Don't hold me to it though. But big shout out to Kurt Singer, Sunrise Outfitters. Thank y'all for hooking me up with this Tatula, and thank y'all for saving people money. Those is $122.99 down there, and that beats paying $159 anywhere else. So if you look on Tackle Warehouse, they're $159. If you go to other places, $159. So that's just a big shout out to Joe Kurtzinger. He tries to be cheaper than anybody else on about anything and everything. Some things he ain't, but majority of what's in his store, he is. So be sure to go check out him. He is in Danville, Kentucky. So let's get into some specs on this here. Like I said, it's a Daiwa Tatula 100 HS. It's in a 7:1 gear ratio. I do have it paired with my Denali rocker rod, one of them. This here is my 6'6" medium heavy, I think. Nope. Yep. Medium heavy. So what I'm going to be using this reel for, I'm going to be using it for jerk baits. I'm going to be using it for chatter baits and spinner baits. I do like a bit of a longer rod for a spinnerbait and a chatterbait, but I think I'll be alright with that 6.6. I'm more of an accurate roll caster with that, so I can get up under a tree, or I'm learning to get up under docks a little bit, so that's what I'm going to be using that for. Also, with that Castaway Tyrannus, I will be throwing a crankbait on it too if there's not on a swim bait and I'm catching them on a crank. So I will be running dual cranking rods now. So that's always a plus. But that's about it on stuff I got new. Wait, no it ain't. No it ain't. I got one more. So, like I said, I got rid of my Corrado. I did trade it off. And I take it back from what I said. I got 3 100 HSs, I think. 2 SVs, and I got this one here. This here is a Daiwa Tatula 150. And this is a 150 right there. It's in a 6-3-1. What I'm going to be pairing this up with. A lot of y'all like it. It's my casting rod, my 711. So you already know I'm going to be putting it to a test, throwing an A-rig, throwing a big swim bait, punching, flipping, skipping. Well, I wouldn't really call it skipping. I got carried away there. But punching, flipping, A-rigging, and big swim baits. That's about what I'm going to be using this for. It does hold a whole lot of line. That's why I wanted it for an A-rig, because I'd really bomb it out there without worrying about running that line. I got 20-pound line on here. So hopefully I ain't got to put line on here for a while. But yeah, I got all Tatulas. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Tatulas right now, bait casters, and I got a 7th spinning reel. But maybe one of these days I won't have that Tatula spinning reel. I've been wanting me another Stratic after buying that first Stratic I had. Well, I have, so we'll see. I'm always trying to upgrade, climb the ladder, see what I like and stuff like that. But Tatula's my home. What can I say? Alright, so we're going to talk about the fishing I've been doing, the fish you've been seeing on my Facebook, my Instagram, and stuff like that. So, let's see here. How long has it been since I uploaded? It's been a little over a week, I know. But me and Josh, we went to Laurel, and we had 5 keepers. We had a 17-inch largemouth. We had a 18 and an 1/8 inch smallmouth. And we had like one cookie cutter largemouth that was like barely 15, like 15 and a 16th. But then we had 2 probably 16-inch largemouths. So a lot of y'all I've been getting questions from, y'all asking me, hey, you said you had 5 fish. I only see 4. Well, yeah, let's just say Josh opened up the live well and that thing must have had about 10 Monster Energy drinks in him, because he jumped from the live well, hit the back deck, and went in the lake. So that's why it's only 4. But I've been getting a lot of hate comments on Facebook and Instagram and such, and Snapchat. Yeah, they talk about stocking it. Well, it ain't going to do no good when it ends up in a freezer. Or Long John Silver's is pretty cheap. Well, here's the thing. They died. We turned on the pump. They still died. We done our job. We had that regulator pump, I guess that's what you call it, pumps oxygen in and fresh water. We had that on, and everything, they just died. So I wasn't about to turn a dead fish loose and it go to waste or anything. So Josh, he has said, here, I'll take them. So he took them, and I'm against keeping bass from the lake. If you want to keep a bass, go to a pond or something that somebody don't care. So that's just that. But I'm against keeping bass, period. I'd rather see people turn them back, because you have no idea how fun it is to watch a little kid thus catch one a pound and a half, 2 pound, and their face just light up with a smile. Like, it's no other feeling like it. So, I'm against keeping bass, but I did have to keep them because they was already dead. If they wasn't dead, I would have turned them back. So, that was on Laurel. We had over 20 that day, and it got to a point where we would have had about, no, we had over 30 that day. It got to a point where we didn't care if they got off. We probably had 16 keepers, counting the Kentuckys and stuff, but they'd end up getting off and stuff, so that's just how it goes. But we was having fun, and that's all that matters. That's what it's about. It's about going out there and enjoying God's creation, having fun. So we didn't really care if they got off or not. But then me and Dad went back out there that following Monday, and it was a grind. We went the same exact spots, the same exact bait, the same rod, the same reel, the same line, same everything, and we ended up with like four with no keepers. It was rough. It was a grind. And then Josh, he comes down there that evening, goes to Big Point, and then whacks 3 smallmouth, like out of the blue. So, I guess it's just timing. I don't really know what's going on down there. Because we was seeing them bust. They wouldn't hit surface. They wouldn't hit swim bait and all kind of stuff. It's just crazy. And literally, you throw a swim bait and shad, nothing. You throw an A-rig and shad, nothing. But throw a crankbait, you get your arm broke. And I'm just like, okay, I guess this is a pattern. So then that next week, me and Dad, we go to Cedar Creek, which is about 45 miles north from London. So we go down there. First time ever been on that lake. I have a boat. We fished it from bank. I always wanted to fish out of a boat, so we decided to make a trip down there. So we make a trip, get down there, and we take some of my buddies' advice. Big shout out to Robert Creech, Noah Creech, and Caleb Creech for telling me that kind of stuff. They told me fish down there hits when it's hot, so we didn't leave the house till like 11, and we got down there and we killed them. We had 14 fish, no keepers because they have to be 20 inches down there. So we had 0 keepers, but we had some that was 17, 18 inches. It was just one of them days that was just fun. So big shout out to Hannah Wesley also. Thank you for telling me what to throw and have on. Although it didn't really help much, but thank you anyhow. Uh, she told me to go flipping, throw a crank, and that's what I done. No luck. But how we caught them on Laurel, it was a crankbait and a Ned rig. That's all that we got hits on. And also an A-rig. I did catch one on an A-rig. But how me and Dad caught them was a Ned rig and a small swim bait. He caught one on a swim bait. I caught 3 on Ned rig. But then how me and Dad caught them at Cedar Creek, we caught them floating a worm up in that grass. So just taking the top, throwing right on the bank where you could literally visualize the bank. That's where we was throwing, bringing it off in probably 3 to 6 foot of water right there on the edge of that grass line, and they could just, I guess they felt it with their lateral line, and they just came out and ate it. And I mean, they choked it. So they definitely wanted that floating worm. And then me and Josh, we went again to Laurel, and me and him, we got on a kind of a weird bite, honestly. We went out there last weekend, and it was crazy. I was not about to try to stay out on that main lake. So we start fishing main lake coves, like them big, long, deep coves. And we pulled up to one of my favorite spots. And it was weird. It had a point and a point, and they was muddied. Now, down here on this bank, it was muddy. But it cleared up the deeper you got. So that's natural right there. But then this pocket that them points made was clear. Well, we pull up in there, we're fishing. I threw an A-rig in there, nothing. But I did spook Shad up. And Josh, he's just like, yeah, I'm getting ready to go to this crankbait. Because that's where he caught those them 3 smallmouth on that day. So I'm just like, yeah. I pick up my crankbait. I fire out there, first cast, I catch one, a keeper. Well, I'm taking him off. Josh says, yep, we doubled up. He hook sets on one, and then it gets off. Well, he just starts going back, cranking his crankbait, and then he hooks up with a different fish, a bigger fish. And then I'm just like, yep, we got a pattern right here. So then we go to another one of my spots I really like, about 1/8 of a mile down the lake. We fish that, and we catch probably between 4 banks. We caught about 10 fish, so we was at a pretty good pace. And we fished about 4 or 5 hours. And then we pull up to another spot, and we ended up that day with about 22. So I don't know what's going on. It's a hit or a miss. I literally don't know what's going on. I know people going out there with surface baits, killing them of a morning. I know people going out there at night, dragging a worm or cranking or jigging or throwing a surface bait, killing them. I know people that's still throwing an A-rig. I know people that's still spinner baiting it. It's just crazy. It's a hit or a miss, basically. I don't know what's going on. I can't really describe it. But if y'all go out there, y'all nail them. Good for y'all. If y'all go out there, don't do any good. I'm sorry, it's just how it is right now. I mean, I stay out there about once a week. Try to at least on some lake. I didn't fish this week. Well, this weekend, strictly because it's Memorial Day weekend. I want to spend it with my family. And I knew it was going to be a bunch of joyriders out there. Pontoons, runabouts, jet skis, and I'm not about to be out there on Laurel or Cumberland when it's like that. That's crazy. But big shout out, thank y'all to the veterans that has given your life, that is currently risking your life for our freedom here in the United States of America. But thank y'all. I really can't thank y'all enough for risking your life, giving your all. The ones that comes back wounded, the ones that don't make it back. It really does mean the world to me. And I'm sure it does to fellow Americans too, because honestly, here back home, we couldn't do what we do. I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be fishing. Y'all wouldn't be viewing this. And we couldn't go to work. We couldn't live the way that we have became accustomed to living. So thank y'all for risking your life. Thank y'all for dying for our freedom. I really can't emphasize how grateful I am for that. And instead, that's one holiday to recognize y'all. They need to recognize it every day. But more importantly, they need to recognize the Lord Jesus Christ. But thank y'all for watching us. As always, be sure to go check out Kurt Singer Sunrise Outfitters, Dog Patch, Saddlebrook, and the Tackle Spot. And as always, give God all the glory. Be thankful and be safe. And have a good day. I am out.